जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Radha Madanmohan Radha Madanmohan Radha Madanmohan Radhe Jagannatha Jagannatha Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jaya Gauranitai Gauranitai Shri Shri Gauranitai Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की और प्रेमानंदे हरे हरे कृष्ण. So we will be discussing from Srimad Bhagavatam, spotless literature, from the 4th canto, 29th chapter, 48th shloka. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tado jayamudirayet nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavatir shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki krishnaya vasudevaya devaki nandanaya cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. 4:29:48. Repeat after me. Swam lokam na viduste vai yatra devo janardana ahurdum radhiyo vedam sakarmakam matadvida. Swam lokam na viduste vai yatra devo janardana ahurdum radhiyo vedam sakarmakam matadvida. Swam lokam na viduste vai yatra devo janardana ahurdum radhiyo vedam sakarmakam matadvida. Lokam na viduste vai sakarmakam matadvida. Swam lokam na viduste vai yatra devo janardana ahurdum radhiyo vedam sakarmakam matadvida. ahurdum radhiyo vedam sakarmakam matadvida. Vaishnavis, we'll go ahead. Word to word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Swam, own, lokam, abode, na, never, viduhu, no, te, such persons, why, certainly, yatra, where, devaha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, janardanaha, Krishna or Vishnu, ahuhu, speak, dhumradiyaha, the less intelligent class of men, vedam, the four Vedas, sakarmakam, full of ritualistic ceremonies. Atatvidaha, persons who are not in knowledge. Yeah, purport by Srila Prabhupada. Oh, this is translation. Yeah, translation. Those who are less intelligent accept the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies as all in all. They do not know that the purpose of the Vedas is to understand one's own home, where the Supreme Personality of Godhead lives. Not being interested in their real home, they are illusioned and search after other homes. Please repeat after me. Those who are less intelligent accept the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies as all in all. They do not know that the purpose of the Vedas is to understand one's own home, where the Supreme Personality of Godhead lives. Not being interested in their real home, they are illusioned and search after other homes. Purport. Generally, people are not aware of their interest in life to return home back to Godhead. People do not know about their real home in the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, there are many Vaikuntha planets, and the topmost planet is Krishna Loka, Goloka Vrindavan. Despite the so-called advancement of civilization, there is no information of the Vaikuntha Lokas, the spiritual planets. At the present moment, so-called advanced civilized men are trying to go to other planets, but they do not know that even if they go to the highest planetary system, Brahmaloka, they have to come back again to this planet. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 8.16. Abrahma bhuvanalloka punaravartino arjuna mamupechyatu kaunteya punarjanmana vidyate. From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery, wherein repeated birth and death take place. But one who attains to my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again. If one goes to the highest planetary system within this universe, he still has to return after the effects of pious activities are finished. Space vehicles may go very high in the sky, but as soon as their fuel is finished, they have to return to this earthly planet. All these activities are performed in illusion. The real attempt should now be to return home back to Godhead. The process mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, Yantimat Yajinopi Mam, 9.25. Those who engage in the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead return home back to Godhead. Human life is very valuable, and one should not waste it in vain exploration of other planets. One should be intelligent enough to return to Godhead. One should be interested in information about the spiritual Vaikuntha planets, and in particular the planet known as Golok Vrindavan, and should learn the art of going there by the simple method of devotional service, beginning with hearing Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu 7.5.23. This is also confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam 12.3.51. Kaler doshanide rajanasti hyeko mahan guna kirtana deva krishnasya mukta sangha param vrajit. One can go to the supreme planet Param Vrajit simply by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. This is especially meant for the people of this age, Kaler doshanide. It is a special advantage of this age that simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, one can become purified of all material contamination and return home back to Godhead. There is no doubt about this. Shri 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 Radha Madanmohan Bhagwan ki, Shri 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 Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maiya ki, Shri 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 Nitai Gaurang Sundara Bhagwan ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. So, Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavancha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Cha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhyacha krupa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Welcome to today's Bhagavatam class. So, I would like to humbly seek blessings of His Grace Anandamaya Prabhu and also all the assembled Vaishnavas. So that I will be able to speak something for the pleasure of the Vaishnavas. So, this particular shloka was spoken by Narada Muni to Prachina Barhi, and chapter after chapter he was speaking, and all the things he spoke, so many shlokas he spoke. Even Narada Muni, such a pure devotee, he did not speak directly, what you are doing is nonsense. First day he didn't speak. He had to give him allegorical story and bring him to a point where he speaks this now. So today's translation is directly he said it's useless. So first verse Narada Muni did not speak this. So he spent so much of time, and after investing positively, after a long time, then he came to the point. Now Prachina Barhi is able to take. So this is the compassion of great souls. Sometimes they may not be able to speak the full truth immediately, but they may postpone the truth, but they never, avoid the truth. So, avoiding the truth, he will never become a sadhu only. So, he may postpone to some extent sometime, like that. So, Narada Muni, such a great pure devotee, he is very merciful, very compassionate. Although in this shloka it is given, one should not go to others' homes, one should go to his own home. But Narada Muni goes to all others' homes, being compassionate to them. Because if he doesn't go, they will be entangled in this material world. He goes. So, sadhu means he has to go to the homes of householders. Sadhu has to do household programs. Otherwise, he is not a sadhu. He should not sit in, ashram. Yes. So, that should be understood. This is Narada Muni is teaching us. So, that is how Prachina Barhi, the king of the entire world, is being liberated. So, one king is liberated, how positive effect it will be on all the praja who are under Prachina Barhi. So, sometimes we may cultivate some great people in this material world who may be role models for, normal material crowd. So, once they become devotee, all their followers also will consider chanting Hare Krishna. It's like that. So, that also can be done. Like Parampuja Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj cultivated many big stalwarts in this material world. So even, I heard PM Narendra Modi was chanting at one time 2 rounds by the influence of Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. I don't know how he could take out time, how Maharaj convinced him. That's his purity, like that. So such great souls are still available. By the mercy of Prabhupada, movement is going on very nicely. So here Prabhupada is talking, you should not go to other planets. Only search for that supreme planet Krishnaloka. Go there only. Don't go here and there. But modern scientists, they are very much, fantasized, they are very much attached to go to other planets. But devotees know everywhere, they know where to go, how to go exactly. Here one astronaut is asking devotee, how come you are here? He said, we have a book, Easy Journey to Other Planets by Prabhupada. We know how to go to other planets. So even if devotee go to other planet, he will go there for preaching, like that. So it's very easy to understand that we need not go to, even a basic, devotee who spent just 6 months in ISKCON, he understands what is our goal. What is our goal? Going back home? Some of you are not speaking, you are doubtful. Going back home, back to Godhead, loud mouth, with 5 mouths, happily we should be saying. Going back home, back to Godhead. That's what it is said. Entire purport Prabhupada was writing that only. But still, Prabhupada writes one of the purport in Bhagavatam only, first canto. I am remembering now, otherwise I should have showed also. There he writes, some of my followers are not interested to go to spiritual world. Some of them are interested in heavenly planets also. Of course, that is true. Someone who is not yet purified, then he may be interested in some lower destinations also. So that's what Prabhupada is addressing. So now, entire purport, Srila Prabhupada is emphasizing on one thing, that going back home, back to Godhead, should be the goal of our life. Nothing else. Don't compromise anything else other than going back home, back to Godhead. That's what Prabhupada was saying. So what is the qualification to go to spiritual world? So we will see one story. Here is one king who got frustrated with the material world. Some people think if we are frustrated, we are qualified for spiritual life. No, not everyone will be able to approach spiritual life positively. So what happened to this king? You see, nature of material world we can understand. So he has one wife, he has many wives, I think so, but he is very much attached to one particular wife who looks very attractive and beautiful. What he had done, one day when sadhu came to his kingdom and he pleased him with his service, then that sadhu gave him one fruit, I think mango fruit. Season is that only, matches. So then sadhu told, you give this fruit to whoever you give, if they eat that fruit, they will remain young and beautiful, attractive entire their life. Then king was so happy, he went, he took that mango and he went to his dearmost wife and he gave that mango. Please eat this. Eat this and you give me happiness entire life. That's what his intention. So she is very happy. Oh, finally I got one fruit. Because of this I will remain healthy, strong, young, attractive, beautiful. So she is also very happy. So she took it. Then after a long time, one day, one prostitute, prostitute came to visit the king. And it took a long time for her to approach the king. Finally, king met her and he asked, why did you meet me? Then she said, oh king, I got one amazing fruit. If you eat this, you will become healthy, strong, will become beautiful. Then king saw that fruit and he knows there's only one fruit is available, that's given by the sadhu. How come this fruit went out of the royal palace? He was shocked. Then he asked, immediately threatened her, I will, chop off your head immediately if you don't tell how did you get this fruit. Then immediately she started, burst into, crying, and then she said, no, I have one lover who visits me regularly and that fellow gave me. Who is that? Then she said, is chariot driver in your own palace. Then, and he told, soldiers bring him immediately to me. Then that fellow came and, king asked, how did you get this fruit? Otherwise I will chop off your head. Then he said, actually, king, what can I do? I have to tell. This I got from your own dearmost wife. She gave me. So then he called that dearmost wife and he asked, Hare, you dhoka diya mujhe? You cheated me. Then why did you give him, Then she said, sorry, actually, I love him very much, more than you. So king is in a big grand illusion. He is thinking he loves his wife, but actually wife is loving her chariot driver. And she gave him so that she can enjoy entire life with him. But the chariot driver also, this queen is thinking chariot driver loves her. But she is also an illusion. Chariot driver loves another prostitute. Now he want to enjoy with another person. He gave that fruit to again one more lady. This is how their parampara is going on. Finally ended with our own king. And king was shocked, surprised and saddened so much. And what to speak of this material relationships. Such a harsh nature of these material relationships. When the truth is revealed, his illusion got dispelled completely. And he cried for hours and hours, and finally he left the entire kingdom and went back to forest. So he got that vairagya. He was thoroughly frustrated with material relationships. Now, but even after getting this vairagya, what happened with him? He did not become devotee of the Lord. He became impersonalist. At one time, this king, he is known as Bhartruhari, famous poet, is the one. At one time, he was the king. And as king, he wrote Shrungara Shatakam, how to enjoy sex and loving affairs, male and female. That's what he wrote. Now he is detached. He became, saint, impersonalist. Now he wrote Vairagya Shatakam. But there is no glorification of the Lord in that. So people think once I become, old, or I'm frustrated with this material world after some time, I can take up to spiritual life and I can glorify the Lord. No, sir. Everyone who is frustrated with this material world, material relationships, everyone is not going to take up to spiritual life. There is another final snare of Maya, that you can become the Lord. Impersonalism is available again for them by the mercy of Sripad Shankaracharya. So, this is that. So, the qualification to enter into the spiritual world is mercy of a pure devotee. Of course, if someone is frustrated and at the same time he met with the devotees, and that favorable situation, it helps him to take up to spiritual very positively. That's also there. But just being frustrated is not the qualification. Yeah, that. And also many people think, if you become old, we tell people, you start practicing Krishna consciousness, chanting, from very young age. Prahlad Maharaj is saying 5 years old, maan lijiye, at least from 20-25 you start, Nothing is too late, So better late than never. So you start at least from now. Even that time also people are not ready to understand. One person came to Srila Prabhupada and he started arguing with Prabhupada. He said, my son, just 22, 23, is supposed to enjoy so much in this world, and you cheated him and brainwashed him and kept him with you. And he is doing all kinds of, services as a slave to you. It's a great injustice. Urgently release him and I will take him back to my, home. He was, arguing with Prabhupada. Then Prabhupada asked, what is your understanding? Swamiji, the spiritual life is good, but not for people in 20. After 50, one has to practice. Okay, then Prabhupada said, okay, take your boy, no problem. Person looking at his relatives was so happy. See, I conquered this Swamiji. Then Prabhupada caught his hand and said, you come, you are after 50, You're above 50, you have to come now. You start coming and serve. Then he said, no. He ran away from there, even leaving his own son. So, people have all the false logic and argument. Somehow, my material enjoyment should go on. And, for that we apply all the logic, argument and everything. But they cannot do anything in front of a pure devotee like Prabhupada. Pure devotees got pure logic by the mercy of Super Soul. They are always enlivened. So, one devotee asked Prabhupada, I want to go back home, back to spiritual world. But, in my life, I'm very much confused. I don't know whether I will go back home, back to Godhead or not. Every class you tell that is the highest destination. But I feel, I am not ready for that. What is the solution? So he was asking. So Prabhupada was about to get into the car and Prabhupada gazed into his eyes deeply and said only 3 words. Only one word he told 3 times. He said, desire, desire, desire. Just desire. That's it. Prabhupada said and left. And later the devotee was sharing with other devotees. So then other devotees told him. So desire means stay with other devotees, who have that strong desire, to go back home, back to Godhead. Then although we don't have that desire, we will get that desire from other devotees who are having that staunch desire. Finish the business in this very one lifetime. No more material body, no more material life, no more material miseries. Prabhupada says, very strongly. So, that is what Srila Prabhupada was saying. So still, even after knowing everything that, we are not supposed to enjoy in this material world, like, Prahlad Maharaj says, you try to enjoy. If you want to be happy in this world, don't try to be happy. That's what Prabhupada says. 5-year-old Acharya. So he's saying so beautifully. Because if you want to enjoy, there is, like a coin will be there. Coin one side, heads. Another side, tails will be there. Is there any coin you saw where only one side is there, heads or tails? If you go for heads, tails will come. If you go for tails, heads will come. So if you go for material enjoyment, material misery also follows you. If you go for, and of course no one goes for material misery. So Prahlad Maharaj says, by the arrangement of the nature, your misery and your enjoyment both are given to you, naturally. You need not work hard for something which is already arranged for you. And whatever is supposed to come to you, it will come to you, don't worry. Like that Prahlad Maharaj gives, But still, this world, there are many people who are unable to understand, and they are categorized, and many purports Prabhupada speaks about them. Famously, they are categorized into karmis, jnanis, and bhaktas. So, even after, understanding, even after going through many miserable experiences, still karma will not be able to understand. That is what is problem. So, we have many analogies to understand who is best in this world, who can go back home, back to Godhead properly, or how we have to lead our life so that we will be qualified to go back home, back to Godhead. So, we have some good stories and examples. You can see, once one disciple went to Guru, and he felt, I should not go to Guru without anything, some dakshina I should give. So he went with one plate, plate of fully proper, fruits. So kept that in front of the Guru and asked the Guru, Guru Maharaj, how should I live in this life? Hare Krishna. So, how can I live in this world so that I can live properly and go back home, back to Godhead? So Guru, without talking to him anymore, there are many more other disciples. Guru took plate into his hands and ate all the fruits, fatafat. He finished it and thrown the plates one side and went inside the, Parnakutir, Guru. Then, he could not understand only. I was asking the Guru to tell me how can I lead my life in this world. And he simply eats all the fruits and, goes inside. Then again next day he went and he asked. And the Guru took that plate into the hand and thrown all the fruits everywhere. And that plate also somewhere else and went inside. Again he was bewildered. What is this Guru? He is not saying anything. Simply doing something. Either he eats or he throws everything away. This is too much. Then again, third time he thought, this is the final time, again I will not go to Guru. So he went, he offered obeisances. Guru Maharaj, please enlighten me, how should I lead my life? Then he took 1 or 2 fruits and disciple was fearful. Again he is eating. He took 1 or 2 fruits he ate and then, then he gave that plate to the disciple graciously. Now you distribute to all other disciples. You also eat. And today Guru is very peaceful and very nicely speaking. Then he asked, Guru Maharaj, I have a question. Guru said, yes, ask. Last 3 times, today and last 2 more times, every time you are behaving strangely. What is the meaning? He said, I am answering your question. Then what kind of answer this is, Then he said, purport will be, you should not live life like a karmi. Everything is for my own enjoyment. First time he ate fruits himself. So that is, worst life, selfish life. You will glide down to hell very soon. Then he said, what about second? You thrown everything everywhere. Then he said, you should not live life like a jnani. Unnecessarily. You say nothing is mine, like that, you, in the name of superficial detachment, you reject everything. That's not the proper process. Like that. Then what is the third one? Looks like very better, Then he said, a devotee recognizes everything to be Lord's property. And, then, he, whatever quota is given to him by the Lord, he will take that. And whatever quota is others, he distributes them. And he always recognizes that Lord is the proprietor, controller and enjoyer. Like that. So, disciple was enlightened and, very happy. Guru taught him great lesson through fruits. So, one more beautiful example. What's the time? Okay. One more beautiful example. You are seeing here empty hall. This empty hall can fill our life with ecstasy, If you learn, so many lessons are there from the empty hall. Once one father called his 3 sons and he said he want to select one successor from all the 3 sons. He want to find out the qualified person. Then he called all the 3 sons and he gave each and every son 1 lakh rupees. And he said, I am giving you 3 vacant spacious halls, and whatever you feel as the most valuable, you fill your hall with that. And and he said, I will come after 1 month. I am going to Vrindavan, Kartik Mas, I will chant Krishna Rama Govinda and I will come back. So by that time you fill whatever you want, you think that is most valuable. Then our father came after 1 month and is very much curious to know what all the things, their sons, they had chosen to fill that rooms with. So first boy, he called, open your, room and show me what is there. Then, he was, about to open. So as soon as he opened, big stinking abominable substance, something fell on the father. And father ran away 1 kilometer. What is this nonsense, my dear son? He shouted. Then he said, my father, this is a donkey stool. Donkey stool? You donkey, why did you fill this with donkey stool? Then he said, father, you said something you have to fill this with. I got 10 rupees 1 kg donkey stool. And 1 lakh rupees, so much of donkey stool I got. So you told me to fill this room and I filled this entire room. So much so that opened the door and it fell on you, So hopefully you are pleased with me. He said, nonsense, run away here. Father went and took shower. And then he came. Then he came and sat, standing in front of the second son. And the second son, he was smiling. Father was very, feeling fearful. What did you keep in this room now? What is going to fall upon me now? Father was very much fearful. Then he was simply smiling. Come, dikao tam aajao. Then he came, then he opened, then father was fearful. Suddenly opened, nothing is there. And there is nothing. Father was, there is nothing. Father was going everywhere, round, there is nothing. You fool, what did you fill this room with? Then he understood somewhere on the corner in the window, there is one shining gold ring was kept. And that gold ring is emanating so much of light. And that light, entire room is filled with that little light. And that's it. He said, yes, father, I filled it with subtle substance. My brother, he does not know, fool. He filled that with gross substance. I filled that with subtle substance. Hopefully you are pleased. He said, go to hell. Then father left from there and he went to the third son. Third son, as soon as he saw father, he came and he paid obeisances, touched the feet, and he received, he asked, would like have water, something, I want to eat something. So after, doing everything, all the proper etiquettes and offering proper reception and care, then, he said, then, father is already little confident. This fellow looks, little stable, better, Then he went and opened. As soon as he opened, incense, agarbatti, that smell is coming. And Radha Krishna, beautiful deity is kept in the center of the, room. And Prabhupada, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Prabhupada is, audible. And one pujar is worshipping the Lord. And, everywhere devotees are sitting and chanting. And all the walls, beautiful pastimes of the Lord are kept. And he said, father, this is what. I thought their lordships are the most valuable substance. I thought this is what I have to fill the entire room with. So what do you feel, my father? Please correct me. Like that humbly inquired. Then father, crying tears of joy, embraced that son. Although you are the small, but you are brilliant. You understood my heart. Actually, the most valuable thing in this world is pure devotional service at the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. So you have done that. You fill the entire room with the most valuable thing. So father immediately gave all his, treasure and money to son. That is how he had chosen. Now who is the first one? What he represents? Person who brought donkey stool. This is the karmi, who goes for stool-like enjoyment, which doesn't have any value, which slips away from our hand in the next moment. It's a temporary material enjoyment. It stinks. And the second person is a jnani who want to, merge into the Brahma Jyoti, and he want that, brilliant light. That's what second person. And the third person is the devotee who properly utilized that entire hall and, and engaged all the resource in the Krishna consciousness. Is the devotee. Perfect. Now, that room, empty hall is our life. And that 1 lakh rupees is the free will. With that, what you want to fill your entire life with. That is a free will. Everyone is having that free will. Everyone is having that most rarest human form of life. Now what we want to fill that particular room or our life with, it's up to us. And Prabhupada already told us, practice spiritual life and go back home, back to Godhead. Message is very, very clear. Going further, this is a very beautiful incident. One of my favorite incidents really happened in the history. So when I read first time in one magazine, long time back, before even Krishna consciousness. But after coming to Krishna consciousness, after reading Prabhupada purports, I could relate this incident with Krishna consciousness and Prabhupada purports very well. So I would like to share this. So one particular island, there, one big prison was there. Faraway country, king would keep all the prisoners in that particular island, that prison only. And very dangerous prison, people would die there itself. That prison, anyone entered means they will never be able to come out of that. And people would be fearful. And one day, all the prisoners, they had a meeting. So prisoners meeting happened and everyone had decided somehow or other we have to escape from this jail. And we have to show to the king, we can do something. So they tried, they want to, dig so much. So in many directions they did. But one prisoner, he was never happy with them. And there are, again 3 sections of people. There are few people, they are saying, why to go outside? There is good food is there, you can sleep. Everything is there here. Actually, if you are intelligent, if you think wise, properly, you can live happy life here itself. You are getting every time, what is the problem? They compromised and, they went to sleep nicely after meeting. Second section of people, somehow they want to escape. So much of hardships and austerities, they didn't mind. No problem. We have to, with great determination, they are trying to do that. And this one person, he said, sorry, then he was, sometimes crying. Sometimes, they are singing. Sometimes this fellow is crying. Sometimes he is praying to someone. This fellow, he is very good boy. He doesn't speak foul language. He is very properly behaving with everyone. So they didn't understand about him. So one fine day, all these prisoners who are digging inside the earth and connected to land, they escaped. They were running. But suddenly there are many wild animals. Group of animals, they jumped onto them and killed them. They are no more. And first section people, hearing that, they never thought about that. They are happy about their own things, And the third person, he felt sorry for them. So, after some time, king visited. After hearing about this incident, he came, then he heard about all these 3 sections of people. Then he heard especially very nicely about the third person. And king said, release him. And everyone, amazed and surprised. First time in our history of our kingdom, king said, release him. He never released anyone. Because he heard that, that particular prisoner is very good, very well behaved. And he does all the services which are given to him in the jail very properly. So, he knew all the prisoners in charge, dil jeet liya, so he gave good report. So, it's very nice to, very, very important to be nice with, wherever you are, your authorities. Because their reports are very important, which goes to the higher authorities. That is why he got released, So, be careful of all this. So, the king immediately so happy, because normally prisoners are not so good. But first time he released him. And he went back to the family. And he lived life happily, praying to the Lord and, and king even offered him one nice job also. So, this happened in the history of this world, somewhere one island. It was recorded, one of the person who traveled all over the world, he wrote this, hearing from one tribe. What happened? Now you can easily understand. First person who settled in the jail himself is, after 2 examples, third example should be self-evident, I thought. Karmi. who settled within the jail of this material world itself. Second person, who lost their existence itself, being killed by animals. By merging into Brahmajyoti, they want to put end to their existence. And third person who is praying, repentant, and depending on the Lord. Of course, he is not simply morose and praying. He is even acting well also. So devotee prays to the Lord, depend on the Lord. At the same time, he does wonderful service also. But mood we are depicting here. So he is the devotee. He will be released by the king. Means Lord will release such people only. Take him back home, back to Godhead. That should be our behavior. Right now all of us are in this jail. So one problem comes to us here. Because we are in jail and life after life after life after life, we are accustomed to be lazy, not to be determined for positive spiritual practices. Very, very difficult. So one particular section I want to refer here for having the determination to pursue our spiritual goal to go back home, back to Godhead, without any compromise. Whatever happens in our life, this going back home, back to Godhead in this very life is our goal. For that we see this Dhruva Maharaj Leela. Now there are many unknown details in Dhruva Maharaj Leela we discussed now. When Dhruva Maharaj was performing so much of austerities, hardships, that time entire world, all the demigods are choked up. Very difficult for them to even take breath. Such is the difficult situation for many people. Now one day all the demigods came in front of Dhruva Maharaj. This you don't see in Bhagavatam. This is explained in I think 7 or 8 other Puranas. Dhruva Maharaj pastime is so important. This is discussed in other than Bhagavatam 7 more Puranas. And different versions will come different places. One place Narada Muni he meets, another place Saptarishis he meets. But every time pastime may happen differently, different Kalpabheda. But wonderful lessons are available for us. So they comes in front of Dhruva Maharaj and they calls him. And we will talk to your father and we will give you better kingdom. So you just stop your tapasya. Like that they try in many ways, but Dhruva Maharaj doesn't hear anything only. He continues with his own thing. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. He goes on to that. Then after some time, his father himself comes. Who is the father? Uttanapad. Uttanapad personally comes. Beta, galti ho gaya mere se. I will take care of your mother also very nicely. I will take care of you also very nicely. You are going to be the king. Don't torture your body anymore. Please come, like that, He shouts so much. But Dhruva Maharaj, doesn't even budge an inch, he's simply Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. That's it, he's hearing only holy name, nothing else. Simply going ahead. Then after some time his mother, Suniti comes, says, Arey, I only told you, but I never thought you will torture your body like this. Please come back. And she, pleads him for a long time and she also goes back. After some time, Suruchi's stepmother herself, she comes. Beta, sorry, I spoke so many harsh words, but my intention is not that. You are only going to be the king and you will be as good as, my own son. Please come back. And Dhruva Maharaj, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, nothing else, like that. So all these things happened, but Dhruva Maharaj, did not hear anything. After some time, he achieved darshan of the Lord and he understood that, pure devotional service to the Lord. That is the most important thing, not some kingdom. But still Lord gifted him that we know. But actually, his father came, mother came, stepmother came. Actually demigods, they disguise themselves as the father. They only disguise as mother. They only disguise as stepmother. They only come and speak. They only come and cry. But by the inspiration of the Lord, he is never attracted to their flowery words. These flowery words are as good as, karma kanda. That's what Narada Muni was saying, don't be attracted to karma kanda, useless. Go back home, back to Godhead. So, Dhruva Maharaj, because he is focusing on the whole name of the Lord, he is not attracted by, although the demigods chalked out a plan, how to stop these fellows? Tapasya. Even after that they could not do anything, then they goes to Lord Vishnu, offer prayers. So, I think this comes in Vishnu Purana. Such a wonderful section for us. In our life also sometime, our own relatives, our own parents, near and dear ones, look like, they are our genuine well-wishers. They come and speak something, something which is disturbing to our spiritual life. And look like they are the most, well-wisher, dearmost well-wishers. He cannot think anything bad for me. If he is speaking, maybe I have to take it seriously. No. But if you are sincere and serious, the way Dhruva Maharaj was, inspired by the Lord to continue the, tapasya, that is how we can practice spiritual life. We will not be distracted. So many people, Maya disguises, or Maya inspires so many people. Even within the association, sometimes someone will come and push, something he speaks in, this is that is that, Even within association, something can happen. But if we are sincere, we will not be distracted. Our goal will become intact. We will go back home, back to Godhead by practicing. This is what we can learn from Dhruva Maharaj. So, one more example. Allowed to give examples because too much of philosophy doesn't register in the mind. Examples, strike and we can remember even after 10 years also. So, one particular king is looking for a successor and he want to, find out, who is the qualified prince. Then he, by certain tests, he found out some 10 people who are qualified. Then he said, be ready for final test next Sunday. Then they were taken to far away forest and they were, everyone is kept in different routes, alone. Then they are told, if you follow this path, everyone is given one path. Follow this path, after some time you will reach king's palace. And once you reach the king's palace, whoever comes first and touches the feet of the king, he is going to be the prince. That's what, those messengers tell these, people. That everyone is eager to run and, touch the feet of the king. First person was going. And while going, he had seen very, beautiful gardens full of flowers. He had never seen them. And he said, this is the world, this is an amazing thing. And must be the one of the world wonders. And such a big trees, big flowers, such great fragrance. And then he was going there, just a little left side, so many gardens are there. Little bit I go inside, he went. And he went inside and he went that side only. And he remembered his way, again I have to go to king. And he tried to come back, but he was confused, he could not come in time. But he was distracted. And finally, he could not reach in time. And the second person also went. He had seen, gardens, but little bit he distracted. Again he came back onto the track. And while going, he had seen beautiful waterfalls, falling there. And, very nice. He just went there, its sun is scorching so much. Let me take little bath. And he went there, he was taking bath. And, there are so many problems, so many attractive things are there. So he was seeing everything going here and there. And after some time, he was unable to come back to the track. Then the third person, he finished these 2 hurdles somehow. But the third thing is that he had seen big gardens of fruits. Big Alfonso mangoes, and all kinds of fruits are available there. And gama, nice smell is coming, And he thought, I never saw this kind of fruits in my entire world. And now or never, if I miss them, how it will be. I will eat one fruit. And he went and he ate one big Alfonso mango and he slept there itself. And the fourth person, somehow he crossed these all 3 hurdles and he went to the 4th stage where beautiful pond is there, nice scenery is there. Very young, attractive, beautiful girls are taking bath there. And they are calling, come, oh handsome, come here. They are calling and he could not deny their loving proposal. They are inviting me with some very nice feelings. Let me go there. He went there. He never came back only. Attracted by the damsels. Then the 5th person who is going, he saw the gardens of, flowers, fruits, waterfalls, and, nice prasadam, so many things. And even young girls were calling. He was not looking anywhere, just walking towards his destination with determination. And he is the devotee. All these things may be coming into the life of a devotee, but he is not distracted. He is aware. These things are available in his life, but he is not falling prey to them. So because he is praying, that is, he is not falling prey to them. So pray so that you will not become prey. That's so that is how with great determination one has to practice so that one will reach spiritual world, because that is what Prabhupada is talking about. But how to reach? Who will reach? That's what we are discussing. So another famous example from Mahabharata. This is also one of my favorite example, Mudgal Rishi. How many of you know Mudgal Rishi example? If everyone knows, I want to skip, but if no one knows, I would like to speak. Is it okay if I go till 9:20, bro? So just okay. So, Mudgal Rishi, he had a great vow not to eat every day. He eats once in 15 days. Amavasya Purnima, that's it. And his family also, by the strength of his austerities, family also empowered to eat, children and the wife. They also eat once in 15 days. And these 15 days, you know what he does? He goes and collects, and from the agricultural fields, he collects the grains which are left over by the farmers. He will not beg anyone. Whatever is available on the land, that only, he takes into the hand. And he collects that. And that only he cooks. It is said, even birds are so happy to see Mudgal Rishi because he doesn't collect for overeating. He collects how much ever he is required exactly for his family and one guest. When birds are happy to give him grains. That is what said. So he would cook. Of course, wife would cook and he would offer to the Lord. Then he would invite one guest and he would offer to him. Then they would eat. That's what happening once in fortnight. Very difficult. And his fame reached everyone. And one person it reached. And he wanted to test him thoroughly. And that is none other than great Vishwamitra. And Vishwamitra want to see how much sincere he is. And he is famous for that. And anyone does something new, Vishwamitra comes into the picture and he checks whether he is really doing with proper intention or not. Then Vishwamitra comes as the guest once. And he eats everything and goes away. And next after 15 days again he calls for a guest. And Vishwamitra is there available. I am the guest. Is it okay if I come regularly? He said no problem. Then he comes, he eats. And after eating, something is remaining. Then that he takes and applies to his body and wastes everything and goes. Whatever he could not eat, that he wastes and goes. Like that few weeks it happens. And wife is crying, children are crying, but Mudgal Rishi is saying, I am trying my best. I am true to my vow and I am true to my devotion to the Lord. And I am pure in my heart doing this. And this is the test. And I should pass. So without feeling anything bad, he simply goes ahead. Again, Vishwamitra comes and he does the same thing. And so happily he says, please come next time. And Vishwamitra was amazed to hear that. Please come next time. If some server, in the restaurant says, please come next time, he will loot your pocket. That's why he is saying. But here this person who is troubled thoroughly, he is saying, I am troubling him and he is inviting the trouble again. My Lord is such elevated soul. Then immediately, he pleased like anything. Then by the desire of Vishwamitra, heavenly flight comes down, heavenly Vimana. So that comes in front of Mudgala and he says, you go with the same body, you go to heavenly planets. And then Mudgala comes in front of that flight, Vimana, and he bows down and he asks, one heavenly messenger will be there in that flight. And he asks, what is this? He knows everything. So innocently asks, what is this? He says, this is the flight coming from higher planets. So what will happen? If you come, we will take you there. What is there? So much of happiness is there. Nandavana gardens, all the apsaras are waiting for you. Come, he said, But our Mudgala said, okay, I will be there for eternity. No, we will give you one garland. Once that garland is dried up, you will be sent back to earth planet. Kshine punyam martyalokam vishanti. Bhagavad Krishna says, as soon as your punya is over, you have to come back to this material world. Not material world, this earth planet. So, then he said, then what is the use of this? If this is going to be there for all the time, eternal, then you can offer me. If this is temporary, I don't want to come. So, many times we say, Nadanam Najanam Na Sundarim. We say, they don't come and easy to say. But here is a person, when it came, he could say very confidently. So, in our life also, we may be tested. When the test comes, how we act, that is very, very big thing. Speaking theoretically is very, very easy. I am very famous for speaking theoretically, but not for action. So when action or when some test comes, I collapse. So I seek blessings of all the devotees, so that I will also have that, determination and, faith of Mudgal Rishi, determination of Dhruva Maharaj, the way all of you are nicely practicing. So if you pray for me, I will also get that. So I have one more section, but there is no time. Quickly I will tell and finish. At the end of the purport, Prabhupada was saying about chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra is a solution. He said 2 points only. Prabhupada emphasized the entire purport. Go back home, back to Godhead. Don't compromise for anything else. Anything less than spiritual world, don't compromise, Just go to spiritual world. That is one point emphasized. Second point is, last he says, chant Hare Krishna and go back home, back to Godhead. This chanting Hare Krishna every day we does. Every day, practically. According to psychology, any habit we cultivate by doing regularly, we master that habit. We become excellent in that. But how come that we are doing this activity every day and we are not mastering it? We are not showing excellence in this activity. Chanting. That itself is showing this is not material activity, it is spiritual activity. Harinam should allow us to access Harinam, Otherwise nothing will happen. Purely we can understand. This observation we can make. Otherwise material activities we become, without seeing we can do them after some time. But chanting every day we struggle but not happening. So Radha Prabhu gives this beautiful analogy. One thief comes one particular place, small boy is playing and the boy is having very valuable necklace. Thief comes and gives, you see in the hand of boy, what is there? 2 rupees banana. And the thief gives 2 rupees banana to the child and steals most valuable necklace from his neck. This is what happens every day morning. Most valuable holy name is covered and the Maya, comes in the form of sleep and takes away most valuable holy name. And what is the value of that sleep anyway? If you see, we can sleep any time of the day, but as if that is the only time we have to sleep and, so nicely. Sometimes we hear snoring also, very difficult. Sometimes we stand and sleep also. Sometimes we stand and we lean onto the wall. Why we lean onto the wall? Because the tendency to sleep is so strong. Although we show I am standing, Prabhu, I am not sitting and sleeping. Even after standing, again trying to sleep. So deep-rooted. Very, very difficult. So, unless we make efforts regularly, it becomes very, very difficult. Otherwise, by not prioritizing this most important activity, then we are loudly telling to the world, we are preaching to the world, chanting holy name is not important. Chanting holy name is not that important. You can walk everywhere, you can see here and there, be distracted, you sleep in between, you chant, while chanting in between you don't sleep. Everything is alright. We are loudly preaching to everyone, this is not that important activity. That's what happens. So that's why Prabhupada said at one place, I heard from one senior devotee in one of the Japa seminar. Recently again I heard from Amoglila Prabhu also. Prabhupada's one devotee asked, how can I rapidly progress in my spiritual life? Prabhupada said, sit at one place and chant 16 rounds. That's it. So all of you kindly please repeat after me, if you don't mind. Sit at one place and chant 16 rounds. I could not hear, can you please do again? Sit at one place and chant 16 rounds. This is our second mantra. How it should be done? In the mood of Trunadapi Sunichena. What should be done? Sit at one place and chant 16 rounds. So these two things are important for us. So then things may happen and we can have some introspection and other thing. We have one more section, very, very vital section. Those 8 slides, each and every slide will open eyes, but we don't have time now. Other class, we will take some liberty and we will discuss. Otherwise, that is Art of Chanting Hare Krishna, very nice section. I relish very much that. But we don't want to discuss now here. So I am also struggling sadhaka, many problems are there. Whatever I spoke, I was speaking actually to my mind, not to any one of you here. So, in case if anything is inspiring, please take it and pray for me. If anything is not proper, you can correct me personally or even now also. Thank you very much. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra ki, Lord Premanande. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you very much. Everyone heard so attentively and pray for me, Hare Krishna. So that I will be able to chant nicely. I am also struggling so much. Hare Bol.